This week on txtNationTV, we'll be unboxing the Linksys WRT 1900ac router. We've been waiting on this thing since CES 2014. Stay tuned. Hi and welcome to another episode of txtNationTV. My name's Rusty G. And this week, as I told you, the Linksys WRT 1900ac router finally made it to our front doorstep. But besides that, before I wanted to get into it, I want to kind of give you a back history as to the reason why I'm getting this. I actually had a wireless Linksys B router back in the day, which was the old stackable ones that they used to make and Walmart bought and had a whole big part in. And then obviously went on to the G wireless, which went a little bit further, a little bit better spectrum and faster speeds and all that. So I actually I stopped at the B and actually started going into these routers here that you see. This is what they call a FON router. I believe they were $49 whenever you bought them from FON directly. They were a French company, and the ideal was that if I have a FON spot, aka a FON router, it's just one simple little router that you plug your internet into, and then everything else is wireless, usually your laptop. Of course, back when I got this, it was just your laptop and your computer. We didn't have tablets, and we didn't have the smartphones that we did when I first started buying these. But the ideal was FON wanted you to be able to share your internet at home, and you could have your internet anywhere in the world that you go. Basically, because you share, you get to go elsewhere and share internet with other people. So I used to have these things. I actually went through a couple of these because I kept expanding my network. These were pretty cool because basically, like you said, all you had to do was plug it into the internet, turn it on, get into it. You were good to go. These were roughly about $49 to get started out with. They were great. They were the 2.4 gigahertz, 802.11b and G. This is the reason why I didn't go with the WRT, because I went this route. And basically, it was wonderful, and I loved it. As I grew with the network, I also started getting this little guy. This was their Fonera Wi-Fi Extender. Basically, there's a metal wire that comes through here and connects to the back of the antenna through a coax cable, basically, and there's a amplified piece of metal in here that actually creates an extended network. So if this little antenna didn't do enough, you could actually plug into the back of it, and then you could extend your network even further, or even if you wanted to, put it in a particular direction that you may be having issues. And you could also take it outside. It was weather rated and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. And then after B and G came N. And everybody wanted N wireless, and they wanted to be the fastest and the best and all that stuff. So obviously Fonera did that, and they went through and they upgraded to the FON 2.0 N router. I think there was an N router before this one, but this is the one that I actually purchased because they actually did the two Wi-Fi antennas because you were able to do two SSIDs, one for sharing and one for keeping private. That's wasn't the reason for the two antennas. Actually, I believe it was because you had the 2.0, 2.4 gigahertz B, G, and N, so it just helped with the spectrum and everything. So the other reason why was because this little guy right here on the front, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a USB slot that allowed you to plug in a printer, a scanner, or basically any USB device. This could be, typically a lot of people would use this for storage. They would plug in a USB hard drive directly and have storage through their network, kind of like a NAS in the sense that you had, something plugged in directly to your network. It was kind of cool. You could also set up with the software web front. You could do Flickr, you could do YouTube. Basically, if you wanted to upload something to YouTube and wanted it timed or scheduled or something like that, you could actually plug in the USB hard drive, have it on there, and upload it through here, and it would upload it for you. And there were other cool features that came with it, all sorts of cool stuff, but that was the one that I had for quite a while. They were open source just as well, so there were plugins and different things that you could do with it, like setting up, downloading your BitTorrents if you wanted to, and you could store them directly to the hard drive that was connected to it. Also standard, I went from one port obviously to 4 ports, 1 in, 4 out. It was great. It had better security. You had WPA2 security with this. I loved it. Had it for a very long time. Actually went through 2 of those as well. I like routers and that sort of stuff. So I kind of went through those. So obviously during that time, WRT, the 54G was the one that became what it was. So I missed out on that whole era and that whole thing, but I do know that it was one of the top selling, as Linksys says, the top selling routers of all time. So Linksys has gone through a lot of different iterations because they were purchased by Cisco. Cisco put their labeling on it, made them do some things. Then Belkin has now purchased them, and Belkin's not so much worried about labeling Belkin on there. They're going to go through and say, Linksys, you can put your own branding back on it and go back to it. So that's where this guy came in. As you saw in the video that we did at CES 2014, obviously Belkin doesn't want too much to do with it. They're just like, Linksys, do your thing, go back to it, you were on it. So there's some bad press behind this, as with any new device. Unfortunately, they were saying Open WRT is being supported, but the open source community hasn't exactly backed this one yet, so there's not a lot of things going on with this just yet. I think a lot of people are going to be worried about if Linksys keeps their word because they have a closed source developer program. I don't know. I don't know all the details, so I can't get into it. I can't tell you from Linksys side. I can't tell you from the open source network side. I really can't tell you. But I think this is a good, strong foothold. The other problem that I have with this is a $250 or $280, depending on where you get it from, device. This is not a cheap device. This was $100. This was $50. Obviously, I've been upgrading. But if you have the money and can get it, I recommend this device only because I think in the future you can kind of future-proof yourself, because obviously I went from 1 antenna to 2 antenna and now to 4 antenna. So it depends on what you're looking for, but I'm looking for a wider broad base. I should be moving again, hopefully sometime soon, to a bigger house. So I'm looking to have a lot of coverage across multiple floors. I've seen people testing this, and it goes out fairly well because it does dual band 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. Now, it doesn't really help me for my devices that don't have that, except for my iPad, which actually does have 2.4 and 5 gigahertz on it. So this will probably help that out a lot. That'll be my only device that has it. Even my cell phone, my Note 3, only has 2.4 gigahertz in wireless routing, and this also has the AC as well, so that's also kind of future-proofing yourself. The great thing about this has 4 gigabit ports. You have beamforming technology. You also have a eSATA port on the back of this one, which also doubles as a USB 2.0 plug-in, so you can put in a hard drive, a printer, a scanner, something like that, also being able to share. Also, right next to the USB 2 eSATA port is a USB 3 port that allows you to plug in a high-speed hard drive. Now, I don't know all the technical things that go along with it, but I'm sure that the USB 3 speeds from the hard drive to the router are amazing, but it's also, you got to worry about the speed going from your router to whatever it is that you're streaming, whether it's your iPad, whether it's your tablet device, that's Samsung, that's Windows, that's whatever, or even, you know, streaming of some sort. There's still that crossover between, but they do have quote-unquote open source firmware on this, so we look forward to a lot of things. I'm buying it because I love Linksys, and I didn't have an upgrade for Fonera. This I've been wanting since CES 2014, and when I saw it, so I'm excited to have it. So let's get to the unboxing and let's start talking about it as we get started. All right, so now to begin with the unboxing. I've already removed the plastic, so we can just get right into this thing. So let's open this up. And there it is, the beaut that she is, the Linksys WRT 1900ac router. And it is kind of massive. It actually does take up almost the entire length and width of that box. And as I pick it up there, you can see, and you'll have to feel for this at a store, or you'll have to look at it for yourself, but this thing is kind of hefty. Also has that, you know how you get a new car and it has a new car smell? This actually has a new plastic smell, so it smells actually kind of cool. But anyway, there's the router itself, the big beast as it were. And we'll continue looking what's inside the box here. You'll see there, it looks like the quick start guide they load in. I'm sure it comes with instructions. Yeah, it looks like just standard instructions, quick start guide probably, CD, password, which obviously I'll change. It actually comes with a password right off the start, so that's good. We'll put that off to the side and we'll see what's the rest in the box. You'll see the antenna there. There's the antennae. You'll see 4 of those there that we were talking about earlier. Already ready to go, so let's see what else is in there. Looks like we've got, what is this? It's a power supply, and which is odd because power supply usually only comes with a laptop and or a computer or an Xbox. But I guess because you're running a dual core ARM CPU, you're basically running a mini computer. So there's your power supply. There is your power cord to plug in, and it looks like your standard gigabit Ethernet, either category 5 or category 6 cable. I'm not sure right off the top hand. Make sure there's nothing else in the case. Yep, nothing else, just a space filler. Just kind of a nice little black box, keep everything nice and separate. I'm going to put everything back in there in case I ever need to sell this thing again, which I don't think that I will, because I hope this is the last one that I purchase for a very long time. So I'm going to put the box off to the side. And there's the 4 antennae that we were talking about. Again, like I said, this thing is fairly hefty. You have to kind of see this in real life. Also, you'll see there at the bottom, mounting for if you want to do wall mountable. This thing is very covered in holes. Apparently, it's going to need a lot of air. And from what I've read, this fan right here that you're seeing actually does not come on unless you're probably doing at least 7 or 8 HT streams because there's really no need for it. So kind of cool, though. And you'll see the places for the antennae. So let's go ahead and put those on there. And we'll go, maybe I need to do it this way and make it a lot easier on myself. So yeah, there we go. And those are obviously go whichever way you need them, because they'll obviously need to go in a particular direction. So tighten that one up, one in the back, do it like I did before. And as you're looking at the back of that, you'll see there's the 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. There is your password protected reset button, however to get started. There's your USB port, blue obviously for 3, USB 2 eSATA reset button, and your power port, and then your on and off. The other antennae, as I go ahead and put this thing in there. Again, this is fairly easy out of the box, just to screw on there, and as I throw it there, go ahead and screw that on there. Get the last one on there. Well, there she is. All 4 antennas set up, good to go, as you see there. Everything looks like it's good to go. So let's go ahead and plug this thing up and see what it looks like as we get started. All right, so I finally got power. Let's see if we can plug this thing in here. Plug it into the back. And there we go. And as you see there, we're going to get some blinking lights. Obviously, I'm not going to get everything across the spectrum here because I don't have everything plugged in, but this is just kind of like the old school South Park thing where they're waiting for the lights to come on. You can see there it's blinking for the internet to let me know it's coming on. Obviously, as the internet and everything comes on, you'll see the 2.4, the 5 gigahertz. If there's an eSATA or something USB plugged in, then it'll also show you the gigabit, everything plugged in there, and then as well using the password protected reset or whatever. I've never used it, so I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's it getting started up. Obviously, the light is blinking orange to let me know I have no internet. So as I finish setting this thing up, that's been pretty much the unboxing of the Linksys WRT 1900ac router, as you see there. Yeah, that's right. We've been waiting on this thing since CES, so we're glad to finally have it in-house. So we look forward to showing you more videos. Stay tuned. We're probably going to do some tests to see how far this thing can actually shoot a signal. So stay tuned. But that's been, again, the unboxing of the Linksys WRT 1900ac router. You can find us on Facebook. Make sure you look us up, txtNationTV. That is everything that we do there. If you want to do the individual social web thing, we've got facebook.com/txtNationTV. We've also got twitter.com/txtNationTV. If you're doing the Google Plus thing, we'll be doing gplus.to/txtNationTV. Sorry about that. But make sure you stay tuned, keep it locked in. We're going to have all sorts of videos also coming up. I actually figured out how to do my Chromecast to my TV, which is actually awesome because now I can do my pogo plug through my router and out back to my Chromecast and basically stream to any TV I want with my Chromecast. So pretty cool stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Again, my name's Rusty G. Thank you for watching. Share, like, do what you do, comment, and help us spread the word about txtNation.tv. Thanks for watching, guys.